Rewire your mind while you sleep. The ultimate nighttime mind hackers. The day surrenders to night. We lie in silence, and yet our minds remain restless. Thoughts drift like shadows over walls we cannot touch. The trivial grievances, the unspoken regrets, the gnawing anxieties, these are the fires we carry unknowingly, and they consume the corners of our consciousness while the body rests. But there is a way to reclaim this inner kingdom, to govern the citadel of our own mind with deliberate care, and it begins with the quiet recognition. Our inner state is ours alone to command. We must first admit that the mind is a fertile ground. Whatever seeds we plant there, whether weeds of fear and envy or blooms of courage and clarity, will grow. Seneca reminds us that we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. It is our imagination that runs rampant at night, that whispers old wounds and magnifies every perceived slight. And yet, we have the power to intercept these thoughts, to shape them before they root in our subconscious. Sleep is not merely a surrender, it is a battlefield. If we approach it with discipline, it becomes a tool, a nightly forge where we can reshape our very selves. Consider the hours before sleep as a sanctuary. The mind, unburdened by the day's clamor, is malleable. This is when we plant the seeds of our inner transformation. Marcus Aurelius, whose meditations are a mirror into the relentless pursuit of reason, wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Therefore, if we allow despair, resentment, or self-pity to stain the mind before we drift into slumber, we wake to a world filtered through their lens. But if we deliberately cultivate courage, self-discipline, and gratitude, our awakening is a reclamation, a rebirth of purpose. We begin by observing. Each night we must pause and examine the residue of the day. What stirred anger in us? What desires pulled at our attention like puppeteers? What judgments did we make that were neither necessary nor constructive? These are not acts of self-flagellation. They are acts of sovereignty. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Our reactions are the threads we weave into the fabric of our character. By examining them in the calm of night, we take the first step in rewiring our mind. This rewiring is not a fleeting effort. It requires method, ritual, and unwavering attention. Let us make the night a deliberate exercise in mental discipline. Before sleep, let us reflect on the virtues we wish to cultivate, not as abstract ideals, but as living, breathing habits. Let us confront our destructive emotions and greet them without fear. Anger, fear, jealousy, sorrow, these are not enemies to be suppressed, but truths to be understood. They are the indicators of where our mind has strayed from reason and virtue. We might ask ourselves, what thought, if nurtured before sleep, would strengthen us upon awakening? Gratitude for the lessons of the day, however painful. Recognition of our own agency in the face of circumstances. Affirmations of courage, patience, and resilience. These are not magical words. They are intentional commands to the mind, a way of shaping the unseen architecture of our inner world. Seneca advises, true happiness is to be content with what we have, and not too long for what we do not. As we lie in darkness, we anchor ourselves in this truth, planting the seeds of tranquility that will flourish when dawn comes. We must also confront the illusions that the day imposes upon us. Many desires are false, many fears are imagined, many resentments are unnecessary. Marcus Aurelius warns, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. As we prepare to sleep, we can exercise this power. We can review the events of the day, disentangling our judgments from the reality. We can release the imagined slights and the exaggerated anxieties, freeing the mind to rest in clarity rather than turmoil. The night, then, becomes a laboratory of the soul. We can use it to condition our inner dialogue, to establish patterns of thought that serve our highest self. Modern practitioners of mental discipline describe this as subconscious programming, but it is simply the Stoic principle applied with intention. While the body sleeps, the mind rehearses what it has been fed. Let us feed it with wisdom, courage, and clarity. Let us rehearse the life we wish to lead, the person we wish to become. This is the ultimate nighttime mind hack, not a pill, not a gadget, but the disciplined cultivation of thought, the deliberate training of the inner citadel. We must accept that destructive emotions will always arise. They are the natural residue of a life lived in the world. But what distinguishes those who are governed by wisdom from those who are enslaved by impulse is the response. Epictetus says, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Mastery begins not with the external, but with the internal. When we lie in bed, we can confront the day's tumult, the anger that simmered, the fear that lingered, the sadness that pressed upon the chest. We acknowledge them, dissect them, and then most crucially we release them. They have no dominion over the night unless we grant it. The mind is a mirror, and sleep is the hand that polishes it. We can choose the reflections that linger, the images that imprint upon our soul. By rehearsing virtuous thought before slumber, we shape our perceptions, our reactions, and our habits. Each night becomes a rehearsal for our highest self. Each dawn is a testament to the work we have done in the silent hours, the victory of reason over chaos, of discipline over caprice. Consider also the notion of inevitability. The night reminds us that life is impermanent, that all things pass. This awareness is not morbid, but liberating. We lie down knowing that tomorrow we will rise, and that tomorrow we will face challenges anew. Seneca counsels, begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. The night, therefore, is not an escape but a preparation. It is an opportunity to align ourselves with the flow of reason and nature, to cultivate resilience that will meet the day without falter. We must also cultivate silence. The chatter of the mind is its own prison. Before sleep, we must allow the mind to settle, to recognize the fleeting nature of each thought. We are not the mind. We are the observer. Marcus Aurelius writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By observing our thoughts without attachment, we weaken the grip of destructive impulses. We allow the mind to enter sleep as a clear, calm vessel, ready to absorb what serves our virtue and discard what does not. This process is subtle, yet profound. We cannot control the world, nor the circumstances that greet us at dawn, but we can control the inner terrain upon which our life unfolds. The night is the crucible of transformation, the dark forge in which courage, patience, and wisdom are tempered. We train ourselves in the silence, rehearsing the judgments, the reflections, the reasoned assessments that will guide our waking hours. Through this nightly discipline, we rewire our mind, not superficially, but at the deepest level of habit and character. We must be vigilant against self-deception. It is easy to tell ourselves that sleep will magically resolve all problems, that rest alone will soothe the mind. But without intention, Sleep is just another 24 hours in which our unconscious mind rehearses the very errors we wish to escape. We must bring intention to the night. We must consciously feed our thoughts with courage, with clarity, with reason. We must visualize our actions, anticipate our challenges, and strengthen our responses. This is the essence of mastery. Deliberate, disciplined cultivation of the mind. Day and night, let us also recognize the power of gratitude and reflection. As we lie in darkness, we can examine not only our failures, but our triumphs, not only our errors, but our moments of virtue. Gratitude is not sentimental. It is a recognition of the elements of life that have served us, that have allowed us to grow, that have revealed the strength within us. Seneca observes, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." By reflecting on the goodness we have experienced, we reinforce it within our psyche. By rehearsing virtue in thought, we condition it in action. Finally, we must embrace persistence. The mind is not rewired in a single night. It is a slow, relentless process, the accumulation of deliberate thought, reflection, and intention. Each night, we plant seeds. Each morning, we test their growth in action. Each failure is not defeat, but a lesson. Each success a testament to our inner discipline. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." So too must we waste no night without guiding our mind toward mastery, without cultivating the inner state that allows us to meet life's trials with courage and equanimity. We lie down in the darkness, and yet we are not passive. We are engaged in the most vital work we will ever do, the governance of our own minds. We confront destructive emotions. We plant seeds of virtue. We rehearse clarity and courage. We observe without attachment. We reflect without judgment. We cultivate resilience without haste. And when morning comes, we awaken not merely to a new day, but to a self that has been deliberately, patiently, and unwaveringly trained. Ultimate nighttime mind hack is not an external trick, not a fleeting distraction. It is the disciplined cultivation of thought, the deliberate shaping of the subconscious, the daily practice of sovereignty over our inner world. In this, we find freedom. In this, we find strength. In this, we find the unshakable core of our being, a mind rewired not by chance, but by the deliberate, contemplative, and courageous practice of living wisely. As we close our eyes tonight, let us commit to this practice. Let us meet the dark with intention, the silence with reflection, the stillness with discipline. Let us rewire our minds while we sleep, shaping the thoughts that will shape our lives. And when the first light of dawn pierces the horizon, we will rise not as captives of circumstance, but as masters of our inner world, ready to face life with clarity, resilience, and unyielding courage.